You've heard it before. Great leaders know how to follow. But what exactly does that mean? Aren't leaders supposed to stand out for leading? Today, we're talking about learning how to follow. My name is Jennifer Mitchell-Early. I help individuals and teams achieve organizational and personal success, and this is Leadership Matters. I had started a new job, working for someone who I'd gone to school with, worked with at another company, and who I had known for many years. Someone who, one would think, knew me. I was still relatively new to this department and environment and did what I always do in new situations. I observed my surroundings, the people, the relationships, the tasks, and the dichotomy of those things as it related to my role. Essentially, I act as a sponge, quietly soaking up everything around me in efforts to have a better understanding of what I've involved myself in. As a communication major and an individual used to and somewhat comfortable being thrown into new situations, it's second nature for me to seek understanding and clarity prior to jumping in unaware. I had been assigned a lead trainer who was excited to have me on her project and team, but was intimidated by the relationship that she perceived that I had with our director of the department. Let me say here that each one of my coworkers had been clear that they knew who I was before I was offered and accepted the position, and thought that they knew about my relationship with the director of the department, which throughout my tenure at that company created an awkward exchange of energy between us. In any case, I was assigned to this project. As instructed, I sat next to the lead trainer for weeks while she designed the proposal for our training project, painstakingly explaining everything that she was doing while I sat next to her in her cube, shadowing her. Now, I wasn't new to training. In fact, I've been designing and delivering training for a number of years at this point. And I hate shadowing people as a primary learning methodology. I'm a kinesthetic, hands-on learner, which means I learn by doing. However, remember, in a new situation, I'm a sponge, soaking up information and taking everything in. After weeks of sitting next to the lead trainer in her cubicle watching her work, I decided that I understood enough about what we were charged to do as a team and explained to her that I'd like to divide the task, go back to my desk, work on my pieces, come back to her for clarification if I have questions, and to get her final sign-off and approval after I complete each task. This allowed her to still lead me and have control over the project, which was her responsibility, while giving me the opportunity to learn how to design according to the department standards, which was my responsibility. She was initially bummed out that I wanted to go back to my own desk. She liked shadowing because that was her learning style, and it also gave her the opportunity to socialize throughout the day. However, as a trainer, she couldn't argue with the fact that it wasn't my learning style, and continuing in that manner would only make it harder for me to process the information that she was tasked with teaching me. Fast forward, our project was successful, and it was time to debrief with the director as she prepared to make new team assignments. As I sat in the director's office with the two department managers, the director asked me how I liked working with the lead trainer. I said I learned a lot from her and enjoyed the experience overall. Laughingly, she said, "What about when she had you sitting with her all that time?" Because after all, she knew me. I said, "It's cool. That's the way she trains. She enjoys the camaraderie as well as the ability to be able to chit-chat throughout the day." To which the director responded, no longer laughing, "I know. I put you with her on purpose to break her. But what I forgot about you is that you're so good because you know how to follow." I can't tell you how many times I heard growing up, don't be a follower, or if such and such jumped off a bridge, would you too? From childhood, we push the narrative that if you want to be successful in life, you have to lead and not follow. As a result, we look for chances to shine and put our leadership capabilities on display. At work, we intentionally seek out opportunities to lead and adopt behaviors that people associate with leaders rather than followers. For example, assertiveness and confidence. Yet, studies have shown that it's not necessarily special characteristics that make a leader great, but rather a leader's ability to influence others based on the perception that the leader is part of the team. This is referred to as the collective we in the book by Stephen Riker and Michael Platow, The New Psychology of Leadership. In other words, leadership is a process that emerges from a relationship between leaders and followers who are bound together by their understanding that they are members of the same social group. People will be more effective leaders when their behaviors indicate that they are one of us because they share our values, concerns, and experiences and are doing it for us by looking to advance the interests of the group rather than their own personal interests. As Aristotle said, he who cannot be a good follower cannot be a good leader. If you like what you're hearing so far and find this information valuable, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. And don't forget to click the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload new content like this. Okay, the article 5 Ways Being a Good Follower Makes You a Good Leader by Gwen Moran notes that Barbara Kellerman, a leadership lecturer at Harvard University's John F. Kennedy School of Government and author of Followership, How Followers Are Created, Change and Changing Leaders, says that there's a lot you can learn about being a good leader by learning to be a good follower. Being a good follower doesn't make you a sheep, Kellerman says. The truth is that most of us are in followership roles regularly, perhaps in our families, social circles, religions, or other settings. Moran goes on to offer 5 skills that you learn as a good follower that make you a better leader. 1. Awareness. Today, leaders need to be aware of various audiences, including colleagues, co-workers, customers, board members, and the public at large. As a leader, you need to be aware of what it takes to bring them along. Being a follower teaches you how to be aware of the needs of other people, as well as their potential to make your life hell from one second to the next. Good followers learn to read people and understand what upsets and motivates them. 2. Diplomacy. When good followers encounter a coworker with extreme beliefs or a disagreeable manager, they're probably not going to fight every battle. Playing the part of the follower is easier, simpler, and often less risky. Good followers learn how to get along with those who have differences while not ignoring those differences. That's an important leadership trait too, because a leader or manager can't afford to be oblivious to the attitudes of those around him or her. 3. Courage. Being a good follower means having the courage to dissent if you think your leader, manager, or superior is doing something wrong. That's not always easy, but it requires the guts and strength of conviction that are essential to good leadership. Being a good follower is complicated in ways that are rather similar to being a good leader. It means being engaged. It means paying attention. It means having the courage to speak up when something's wrong. And it means having the energy and activism to support a leader or manager who's doing things wisely and well. 4. Collaboration. In many ways, followers can make or break the leader, influencing if and how goals are accomplished. In many business sectors, followers are the ones who are doing much of the creative work. Although the leader may get most of the credit, Leaders who have been good followers understand how to work with people to bring out the best in them. Today, leaders may be evaluated not only by how much is produced or achieved, but by the quality of the team or organization and its members. 5. Critical thinking. In order to be a good follower, you need to be able to think for yourself. The best followers support and aid the leader when he or she is doing the right thing and stand up to the leader when he or she is headed in the wrong direction. Many of the same qualities that we admire in leaders, competence, motivation, intelligence, are the same qualities that we want in the very best followers. Moreover, leaders, regardless of their level, also need to follow. Knowing when to lead and when to follow can be difficult. For me, leadership is about empowering and coaching others to also lead by creating space for them to operate in their strengths while continuing to grow in my own. Knowing when to lead and when to fall back to follow is a critical skill for all leaders. Thanks for watching. See you next time.